Buri, in the post-war period, creates a new material realism, which is focusing on the facts of materials and their innate properties, even though he's still making abstract paintings out of them.
I think that as an artist, he's very much an artist's artist, because I think that people who understand materials and work with their hands respond immediately to the work, because they can really understand how they're put together.
The Catrami was his first series that focuses on a new kind of material realism. His early series, in addition to the Catrami or tars, also include working with unconventional pigments or using traditional artist pigments in new ways, drawing out their material properties in a series of procedures, almost like he's making a picture out of collages of materials or what pigments can do. At the same time as he's working with relief, with pigments, he's understanding that a picture is not just a flat plane. With the gobi that begin around 1950, he decides to put an armature or sticks or rods in the back of the canvas that forces them to protrude in the front. He's deforming that picture plane, almost like knees and elbows or orifices. Buri loved to use a material called Vinavil. It's the same polyvinyl acetate used in Elmer's glue. Buri uses this as an adhesive. He also uses it as a glossy varnish. And he also uses it in touches on the surface and globs to suggest mucus or bodily excretions. You see these oval shapes or blobs of Vinavil on the gobi, for example, on the apexes of the protuberances, which drives home the allusions to the body. Buri's sacs were also a kind of sheath-like membrane with these analogies to skin and the body. It was pointed out at the time that the sacs were almost like a trompe-l'oeil or fool-the-eye picture. They were made of materials with compositional lines, which are the seams, and coloristic devices. Even the stitching looks like the doodling of graphic tracery. In the mid-50s, he moved on to a new technique of combustion or burning.
At a certain point, he's using no paintbrushes, no artist's conventional painting methods, just a torch and the materials themselves.
The first material he actually burned besides paper was wood veneer, mass-produced wood slats that were used for making furniture or fake wall paneling. Buri's next series of combustions used industrial plastic sheeting, the so-called combustioni plastiche.
There are four main types of plastics. There's the red plastics, the black plastics. They actually ignite a bit quicker, and it's clear that he's working them very quickly. The transparent plastics with no pigment in them, and what he called the white plastics, which are same transparent material that he's using on the transparent plastics, but he's laying it over a white Celotex fiberboard. They become less sculptural.
Buri's last series, the Coretti and the Celotex, show him in a dialogue with American minimalism. Buri finds himself in Los Angeles beginning in the 1960s. The Coretti are a response both to the parched landscape of Death Valley, which he visited often, and they are also looking at old master painting, the craquelure, that because of environmental stress and years of wear begin to cleave the surfaces of old master paintings. But in the Coretti and Celotex, Buri begins to reduce the compositions. There's serial abstract imagery, and he's also simplifying the techniques, even though he's never letting go of this blurring between painting and sculpture. He's always dealing with degrees of relief. He's always attacking the surface of the picture in some way.